The conclusion of human history. What is the true biblical concept of the last days and the end of the world? The Bible tells us that in the last days the heavens will pass away and the fiery elements will dissolve. 2 Peter 3:10. That the sun will be darkened, the moon will no longer give its light, and the stars will fall from the sky. Matthew 24:29. He also predicts that with the sound of God's trumpet, Christ will return, and the dead who have believed in Christ will rise to meet him in the air, followed by the believers who will live at the time of the return of the Christ. 1 Thessalonians 4:16-17. Should these prophecies be taken literally, or should they be viewed symbolically, as is the case with many other key passages in the Bible? We answered these questions by studying human history. How did it begin? In what direction is it going? What is its ultimate goal? What is God's true purpose of restoration for fallen humanity? The meaning of the last days. What kind of world would have originated if Adam and Eve had obeyed the commandment God gave them in the Garden of Eden? Adam and Eve would have become individually perfect individuals. On this basis they would have established an ideal family and begotten sons and daughters with a nature of goodness, and perfectly in turn, they would have lived and realized the three blessings with God at the center. Their thoughts and actions would be centered on God, and they would thus build a family, a society, a world in which God alone would be the center. There would be no existence of Satan, who would become the god of this world. This world would have been the kingdom of heaven on earth. If this had been realized, their lives would have been lives of goodness, and the history of their family and the world would equally have been stories of goodness. Instead, because of the fall, the first man and woman did not become a true man and woman, embodying the divine nature, but rather became embodiments of evil as well. Adam and Eve who fell gave birth to children with original sin, and thus families, societies, and a world of evil were formed. The thoughts and actions of fallen man are often dominated by Satan, and therefore this world became hell on earth, full of sin and suffering, a mix of good and evil, where a person can come to worship God, but then also act satanically and wickedly at the same time. The history of man, the family, the nation, and the world, has been above all a history of conflict, war, sin, and evil,